country club, Christian, I'm a zealot. Truth's gonna hurt, man, I ain't tryna sell it. And if you think you can refute it, you'll regret it. Cause that's the way it is, like it is, how I tell it. Ain't a country club, Christian, I'm a zealot. Truth's gonna hurt, man, I ain't tryna sell it. And if you think you can refute it, you'll regret it. Cause that's the way it is, like it is, how I tell it.
Okay, firstly, I gotta address apologetics. It doesn't make sense, I'm not sorry, I don't get it. The fact that he was crucified means that we're all indebted. We should demand to have a culture that doesn't soon forget it. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess it. Christ is king, listen up, get the message. The time is short, the deception is impressive. The church itself is corrupted and wretched. They preach about grace, no righteousness expected. God gaze at the pulpit because their sin is accepted. The devil calls, they don't even try to reject it. They're employed by Satan, they are tax exempted.
Ain't a country club, Christian, I'm a zealot. Truth's gonna hurt, man, I ain't tryna sell it. And if you think you can refute it, you'll regret it. Cause that's the way it is, like it is, how I tell it. Ain't a country club, Christian, I'm a zealot. Truth's gonna hurt, man, I ain't tryna sell it. And if you think you can refute it, you'll regret it. Cause that's the way it is, like it is, how I tell
It's
it.
neither land of the free, nor is it home of the brave. When you got people here killing babies every day, and all the Christians here think that they can get away if they throw a couple bucks into the bucket on Sunday. But I don't think that that's the way it works. He said to seek the kingdom and its righteousness first. But you wanna grab a handbag, a Rolex, and what's worse, you think that you deserve it, but the bubble's about to burst. It's time to rise, sell the cloak for a weapon. Got the sword in my left, in the right, Smith & Wesson. And I don't think it's wise for you to try to be testing. If you become a Goliath, then I'ma teach you a lesson. It's apostasy, and what the cost will be is the people in the church and state accosting me. But I'm speaking honestly, you are not the boss of me, because I only give allegiance to the one true king. And I don't care if we burn down this whole country, cause it's wretched and rusty and rotten, stupid and ugly. And I got no love for churches and preachers set up above me, cause their democracy's about to be replaced with monarchy.
Ain't a country club, Christian, I'm a zealot. Truth's gonna hurt, man, I ain't tryna sell it. And if you think you can refute it, you'll regret it. Cause that's the way it is, like it is, how I tell it. Ain't a country club, Christian, I'm a zealot.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Main Character Podcast, Level 70. Made possible by the Cult of Con, that's you guys. I am Con Man, and thank you for being here. Well, we are back Wednesday, hump day. It's not even trash day, believe it or not. It's usually trash day, but apparently because there's a holiday happening on, tomorrow? I guess it's tomorrow. For those of you guys who are in the United Kingdom, living in the future, it would be Thanksgiving Day, but they don't celebrate that over there, apparently. Why am I today years old when I just found out that they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in the United Kingdom? Very weird. Holy crap, Starman, my friend. I was just looking at my Telegram inbox and I saw that you and I had a message, a correspondence once not so long ago. And I haven't seen you in forever, dude. It's great to see you. I do have to say, what's up, everybody? Good to have you guys here. And we will take a moment to greet everybody. So make sure you throw those honks in the chat. Of course, it is Wednesday, hump day. We should just start calling it honk day. Yo, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. That looks different. Sounds the same. That's all that matters to me. All right, I did want to take a point to say, you guys see this? I got chat. I put chat up on the screen. The username thing is crazy, man. Like, I hate that. Like, I just started to get to know everyone's names, and now everybody has new handles. You gotta love it. Well, they said that it was supposed to reduce the identity theft impersonation thing, like where people just show up with a username and pretend to be other people. That is totally viable. I believe that. I'm sure that's probably a real problem. There's probably people going around on the channel called the Cult of Con saying all kinds of racist and bigoted things in chat. I'm just joking. Shoot. I'm scrolling back. I'm gonna try to get here. Let's see where's a good starting point. Will it go all the way? It does. Good to see you, Wendy. Welcome in. Wendy is the resident captain of the Big Blimpin' Party Blimp. Yeah. We also have Half-Truths, my good buddy Half-Truths. Happy Thanksgiving, brother. Hope y'all are doing well. For many of you guys who are catching this stream, you won't actually be here tonight. I understand some people will actually be listening to this tomorrow. I think a lot of people catch up the next day or the day after. So I just want to bless all of you guys with a happy Thanksgiving. I know not everybody celebrates the holidays, and people have different opinions about this time of the year. I know it's a really contentious time. But what I've developed in my more modern understanding is that these are the things that people spend all their time and energy fighting about that actually are not a matter of kingdom or of salvation. And really, it's like we're in no place to decide once and for all whether Thanksgiving will exist or not. Imagine if your group had the authority to ban or tolerate holidays. You could say, Thanksgiving, gone, stricken from the record books. Their name will be blotted out from history. If you were in that position, then go ahead and have a discussion about whether or not Thanksgiving should happen, because in that situation, you could actually erase it. You could actually do something about it instead of idle talking about it like we always love to do. But yes, moving on from that, I feel like my inner conman is always trying to come out when I'm on this show. I wonder how much of that I do in public. I'll be at work or something like, oh, that's an incredibly good deal. Well, I don't see why you wouldn't want to spend your money on something that fantastic. Even I would buy it. It is good to see you, Sugar Cube 13. See, this is what I'm talking about. Do I know you? See, I know I've seen you, but I don't know if you're someone else that I already know because this new name thing. We got Cage Fighter. I know you. In fact, I know the recommended greeting for Cage Fighter. I actually don't know which one it is. Is it this one? Yeah. They look different now. I don't know what to tell you. It is good to be at the end of my week. I have the rest of the week off. It is absolutely outstanding. I'm booked up. I have so much going on over the next few days. Work, not work, but other work, car work, project work. It's supposed to be therapeutic, but I have this one absolutely ridiculous repair I have to make where I have to take the whole drive shaft out. And anybody who has done that while laying on the ground could probably tell you that's no fun. We'll see how that goes. That will be available in the next Cult of Cars video. I'm going to be filming what happens here. So we'll let you guys know how that went. We have hip hop hippopotamus. I wish I could say that quick, but it's not happening. A woo! Let's go. A woo is close enough. Let's go. I love that. All right. Okay, guys. Well, it's good to have you guys here. We'll catch up with everybody in chat here real quick, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes, the turkey, the cranberry sauce. My brother got the last can of cranberry sauce, apparently, so it's getting a little wild this year, I suppose. Good to see you, Amelia. I don't know if I said hi yet, but it's good to see you. We also have Lisa Hall. Welcome, Lisa. I see the names are escaping me. Oh, my goodness. We have Wen Joe, 1971. First time seeing this channel. It's good to see you, Wen. I have seen you in Paul's chat before. I don't know if this is I hope you enjoy yourself here. You are welcome to be here with us on the crazy Kool-Aid powered party bus. Everybody here is a little bit kooky. This is I think the weirdest part. We have overlapping circles of community. It's one of the things I'm so grateful for in this time and place in the internet and the history of the mankind in the world, that we have our little spot here that is kind of like a circle within a bigger circle. You know, we have Little Season community. We have a conspiracy theory, truther communities, and there's kind of an overlap. I love seeing you guys in the chats. I'll be watching someone like Lucius Aurelian or some sort of some sort of conspiracy channel that's not Little Season stuff, Jesus stuff, but like weirdos. I'm not trying to, I just mean strange esoteric groups, and I'll see some of you guys in chat. It's oh, hey, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Just watching some weird random video about pigs are humans or something. And that's great, actually, because that ties into our thumbnail tonight, right? Good to see you, Blake Higgins. Welcome in. Much love. Good to have you. We also have Mad Paximus. Good to see you, Mad Pax. Welcome in, my friend. Ex-Heliocentric. Welcome in, my man. And we also have Hawkma. Hawkma, my good friend. Shalom. Yeah. We also have here 626. Experiment number 626. Hey, Lilo and Stitch was a good movie. I heard they made a live action version of that recently. I have not seen it, but I heard it was not the same. I think they did some artistic license that I care about the integrity of stories. Like, I think the characters matter. Every character, even side characters, whatever, they're developed, their arc, their persona. And when you grow up watching a movie like Lilo and Stitch and it has a certain way the story goes, you expect a live action movie to just do the same movie again, but real people. That's what people really want. That's the fan service. They just like the idea of it being like realistic and not just like an animated movie. But they don't want you to like turn one guy gay and then make another guy like unrepentantly evil. Like, I think they turned the Jamba guy into an unrepentant villain in the movie, and it doesn't make any sense because he's like he has this amazing arc where he turns around and is like a good guy. Why would you just make him stay evil? That's a foresight. I don't know what you would call that. It was a bad maneuver on the part of the directors there. Welcome in, Walking Steve, my friend. It's good to have you. I think we're getting caught up. We also have Time Traveler 81. First time that I've caught the intro. Very good. Good. I'm glad you like it, my friend. And there's my voice star, man. Good to see you. We also have Pearl. Welcome in, Pearl. Good to see ya. I'm so glad all of you guys are here with me tonight. We also have Ceiling Fan Man, my good friend. Good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well this evening. I hope you guys have plans for Thanksgiving that are well. And if not, I have a small spiel about that. I'll be sharing a small light vein bulge about the holidays and the family stuff. We'll touch on that in a second. All right. Stitch is the Born Again Walk animated. Con man, I love it. Born Again Walk animated. I love it. I wish I knew exactly what you meant, but if it has to do with Jesus, amen. Honk honk. Let's go. I do have to take a moment to say that on this channel, we believe that Jesus Christ is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the King of the earth. He's alive today. He is resurrected. He's King today. And that's what matters most to us. We say you can't have the truth without the way, the truth, and the life that is Christ Jesus. And that's like, I think, the central fabric of this channel and community, as far as we talk about all kinds of weird stuff, but because our central focus is on Jesus and stuff, we understand that we're coming from different places. We're all various levels of developed in our work in progress. You know, the walk that we're on. It's not like we're already there. Life is about where you're going, not where you're at, right? It's the direction you're facing, the momentum that you have, and the trajectory that you're on. And we're all like believers in Christ, destination kingdom. We're going somewhere, but we're not there yet. So if I look at you and you're like weird looking, like, or you're like still got some like, you know, Paul was talking about tattoos. It's like Paul, same way. We're not judging anyone on that. I have tattoos. It's like stuff like that. I like to pick battles that are really important, like the big picture stuff. And I hope that we can all learn to be more that way and stop giving so much of our energy to the small things and choose to love one another in cases that we normally would be divided over BS. And look who's talking. I love to rumble. I love to get into trouble and fight with people. I'm sorry. I know it sounds terrible, but I'm just passionate. I just want things to be just. I want things to be right. You know? But I also know that I'm not right for just being so brash all the time. I got to learn to be a little more Hakuna Matata. Or I guess not. I guess that probably isn't. I think Brian from Demon Eraser said that Hakuna Matata means something like, I don't believe in Jesus or something. It's not that. I certainly love Jesus. What I mean is, it means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Believe in Jesus. There. I just rewrote the song for you. That's actually great. I'm sorry. The problem-free philosophy, believe in Jesus. I love it. Let's go. Hey, we got more here. We got Pyramid Plunger. I kind of like that idea, Pyramid Plunger. Like this satanic Illuminati clogging the proverbial pipe of the universe. Shoom, shoom, shoom. Let's go. It's good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you made it in tonight. We've also got Brother Bruce. Good to see you, Brother Bruce. And Jesse Pierce. Holy moly, it did that thing. Whenever I neglect to get to the bottom of chat quick, it jumps out of here. We got Purple Palace Permaculture. Honk, honk. I love that. I don't know what Purple Palace is or permaculture, but like that just sounds good to me. I like the noise. I like the way that sounds coming out, the PPP. That's like CDM, only like even more like flowy. Ceiling Fan Man, just got my soap. It's amazing. Let's go. Sugar Cube says best remake of a Disney creation. My opinion is Beauty and the Beast, personally. I did not see the Lilo and Stitch, so I'll have to see it before I condemn it for plot changes or whatever. But Beauty and the Beast was, I think, my favorite, just because I thought it was really solid the way they told that story. Very close to the original and not perfect, but there's only so much you can do, and like half the cast is like an animated cabinet that's like flying around the house. You got guys like, how do you think about the budget for the CGI that every piece of furniture in the house is like a demon possessed cabinet lurching around and like singing songs? Like, imagine how terrifying that would be. That's the reason that Belle was in true horror in the Beast's mansion. It had nothing to do with the fact she was in captivity from a Nephilim. I mean, let's just sidestep the main plot point and focus on the fact that the house is full of demon-possessed poltergeist furniture. We just watch this stuff as kids without even realizing how insane that is. There's a Nephilim living in a mansion with demon-possessed furniture who kidnaps women. That is crazy. All right, we got 5022 Freedom. Welcome in, my friend. I swear there was a plot. What did I do with my phone? I gotta take my sweater off. Give me 1 second. I'm way too hot. All right, we're back. Woo! I had the window open and everything. As soon as I get going, I'm like, I get like hype. Wendy's like, we need Jeopardy music while we wait. Yeah, that would be good. That's something to add to the list for like when we go, if I ever just have to switch over, just like some a loading screen. That screen works with the scrolling logo, but we do need music. There needs to be something so you know that it's not lost, like, this stream will return shortly. Like, okay, what I do with the phone? Okay, there it is. Okay. There's a couple of things. Again, nothing important. I should probably tell you that because today, tomorrow, whatever day it is, Thanksgiving is happening in the United States. And because Thanksgiving's happening in the United States, people are doing that and busy with that. And I'm sure many people have family things going on, but at the same time, lots of people don't. And I'm sure you guys are probably like the biggest culprits for people who don't have anything going on for Thanksgiving, because we've all been disowned by various families and family members because of what we believe in and stuff. I'm sure you guys all know how that is. We have, this is why I write things down, because I have the worst, most horrible ADHD thing. Isn't fun just the best thing to have? Absolutely. That's really what this show's about. As much as I do go on some serious tirades every once in a while, like at the podium, I also just love the chance to get together with you guys and hang out. And that's really what this show's all about. Let's see. So I did forget that we do actually. Let's do the basics and we'll get into the meats. Okay. Thumbnail. Thank you guys. Thanks for everything. Thanks to all of you for joining me on this show every week for the last 70 weeks, just on this show. And then we're even farther in on Sunday service. It's like we are, I think, over 100 episodes of Sunday service now, which is just a crazy thing to think we've been doing this for so long now. And the community has grown, and it has also shrunken and grown more. And in other ways, we've lost and we've gained. And that's kind of how things go. But I hope you guys can enjoy this year's Thanksgiving celebration, and my gratitude to all of you, as well as those of you guys who have chosen to help support the channel via Patreon on patreon.com/theculticon. Obviously, sometimes I say stuff I'm not supposed to say, and for whatever reason, YouTube just will not let me get monetized, and I have tried enough times now that I don't think I'm allowed to apply again. Maybe I can after like 6 months or something. And I just don't want to get in any trouble. I've just left it alone. Maybe one day the community will be sizable, like very big, and it can just be kind of one of those things where you apply and YouTube says yes because you represent a large demographic, but it doesn't even matter because we always have a good time nevertheless here on the channel. So again, thank you guys so much for being here, for making this possible, and whether you support the channel financially or not. I mean, it's just great to be here with you guys and have something to talk about. I was talking with Pepe earlier in Paul's chat, and he was like, we were joking about what it would be like if you just did live streams with no comments and no chat because you didn't care what anybody else thought. Like, you just, I just, comments and chat turned off, and you just, like, yelling into the void. Pepe was like, you got to do it, call the episode Screaming into the Void. And my thought was just that I think my insanity will one day drive everyone away, and I'll be alone over here on the island screaming into the void anyway. So why not? Well, one day I have an episode Screaming into the Void where I go off on some sort of an unhinged rant about the state of the world. I could do that at a moment's notice. That's I'm volatile. Like, all of a sudden I'm like, you know what though? This just makes me so mad. You know what I'm sick of? It's like, oh, that's funny. Anyway, I do have a point to tonight, but so we'll get to it. Thanksgiving, it's a really nice time of the year, time to get together with people. Time to meet with the community, with friends and family, and celebrate what we're grateful for. And a lot of that has changed over the years. A lot of our, I guess you could say, perspectives on what Thanksgiving has changed. And holidays in general, right? I think that on the cutting edge of conspiracy, most people realize that holidays are kind of like a way for us to be exploited, right? Paul made a good point that they don't celebrate it in the United Kingdom. Of course, I should know that. Like, why don't I know that? Duh. It's like the whole world is not America, okay? As much as it seems like that, there are other places out there. Anyway, I made a joke in the chat about how it was like, well, I understand why the English don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Their history with the Native Americans is even more rough than ours. Anyway, I don't know if that's fair. The point is that, Thanksgiving, it's a U.S. holiday, and it's some sort of a scam to get us to buy turkeys and visit with all of our relatives that we don't want to visit with. And I'll tell you, like, no offense to anybody, individually, I love my family, but holidays like this always were such a pain in the ass to me. And I remember as a kid being drugged to various locations over an hour or 2 hours away or whatever to far off town to meet with the thing. And it was always like, oh, I hate this. I never loved it at all. I never liked it. I just think it was so performative. We should want to get together anytime. We should have a family of people who like to get together all the time. I think that's what we have here in this community. We get together once a week. Even if what we have to say, even if what I have to say is not cool or important, we still get together here and we have a good time. We laugh and sometimes we rage and sometimes we cry and we move through the motions of life here as people do. But it's a community. It's something different, and it's ours. And I think that the fact that we willfully come here every week says something, because I would not willfully go to Thanksgiving dinner ever. I can't even imagine doing that again. And of course, the extended family, we're all on weird terms with each other these days, but I have no ill will for them. I just think that we've all been divided a lot over the years from the various things that have come to pass, Bless you if you're someone who has been divided against your family by, first of all, your faith in Jesus and the kingdom. Right? Because that is the most important thing in the world, Jesus and the kingdom, and what God's doing in our lives. That's the central, most important purpose for even why we exist. And I know a lot of people have lost friends and family because of their boldness to pursue faith and to do their job as a leader in that capacity. I always say, like the CDM, the Christian Dominion movement, is about empowering individuals to positions of Christian leadership and dominion. And, we've all been taught so long to be like seat warmers in the church, but I want to empower people to go out and have that kind of boldness to say, I advocate for this kingdom, and I know that it's the truth, and I know that it's real, and I'm not backing down on it. And it's unfortunate that people want to disown you over it, but it's one of those things where it's like, we can agree to disagree, and if you treat me cordially and respect me, right? But we have this kind of society now that's like, screw your God. And it's like, I'm not going to stand for that. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain lines in the sand that can't be crossed. And I want to empower everybody to be proud of that, in the sense that, like, if you have been wounded for the sake of the kingdom, know that the Lord knows that. Like, the people who have turned on you and been vicious to you and stuff, even your own family, coworkers, friends, whoever, over the fact that you followed Jesus, like that counts for you in the kingdom. That's real. So I know it's hard, but remember that. And then to go a step further, like otherwise, we've been doing the work, right? I always say, trust God, take the risk, do the work. And that's a 3-part system, not a me part system. That's like you and God working together. That's something that's happening in your life and my life. And that's real. And that leads to other things, not just knowing spiritual truths and being, built up spiritually and in your walk with Christ, but it also means finding, discernment and answers in places that you never really thought. And I think that's one of the things this community, I'm so grateful for, is that we've been, by the Lord's revelation, revealed so many things about where we are in history and, the kind of deception the world is under right now. And I remember 2020 like it was yesterday. I mean, I cannot believe that we are less than a month from 6 years ago. All that happened. Man, I cannot believe it's been 6 years since 2020. Crazy. But we watched, we did the work, right? Those of us who were out here doing research, we didn't have all the answers, but we knew that there were concerns. We didn't trust corporations, media, and government coalescing together against us for the purpose of advancing their multi-billion, trillion-dollar agenda. We knew that was fishy, and we tried to tell people because we cared about them. Not because we were trying to ruin their lives or suck the fun out of everything, but because we were legitimately concerned for what these evil entities were going to do to people we cared about, even strangers. It was an altruistic position to be against all that crap, and it really turned a lot of people against us. That isolated a lot of us. So I feel for you guys, those of you who are out there who may be listening to this on Thanksgiving Day and you may be all alone. Just understand you're not all alone. The world is full of people just like you and me who are warriors against this chaos and fighting for the kingdom against the darkness of this world. And although we're not all unified together yet, the day will come when we will be. And I know that's what we're working towards right now as a community here and at large, is that everyone's recognizing the necessity to come together on what really binds us. Are we united by sports teams or national flags or languages or skin colors? Or are we united by the kingdom that's not of this world, that transcends all of these things that they've used to try to divide us? When we realize that national identity of the kingdom, that identity that we have in Christ, is bigger and better than all these things, that is what will get us past all the BS about whether it's about turkeys or whether it's about tattoos or all this crap we're divided over, whether we should celebrate Christmas or not. We will get past that stuff and figure out what we should really do, and the day comes when we work together to achieve it. It's not just going to get handed to us. We work together and we build it. But again, I think that there's a lot to be grateful for this year, and we have stuff to talk about in terms of to be grateful. But I just want to say thank you for your boldness to speak the truth to your family and friends and neighbors and relatives. The truth about the gospel of Jesus, that's a big one. That's the big one. And then also the courage to speak the truth about everything. Our lying, no good scumbag government, lying scumbag slimeball news media talking heads. These people are soulless and wretched. People like Dr. Anthony Fauci, I can imagine his eyeballs exploding out of his head in hell. He'll get what he deserves. The Lord will not go. The Lord is not going to allow these people to just skate. Mercy be upon Fauci for what he's destined to achieve in eternity for his behavior. The point is, it's been a rough time, but I'm grateful for all of you guys for your boldness to get yourself this far to where we are. And I think boldness is so important in this age. We got to have the courage to be like, no, the truth is that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and life. And I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to declare it. And then eventually we're going to impose it. That's what everybody wants. Wait, it's time. I see crusaders, like a picture of an army of crusaders. They got a giant cross. I'm like, dude, that is people don't know what's going to happen if they don't stop. I'm not asking for war. I'm not asking for anybody to be harmed. I just think that as people continue to oppress Christianity, it gets more powerful. Christianity thrives under oppression. They're really mad. They're really trying to distort it. They're trying to ruin it. They're afraid of what the Lord has planned to deliver. That's the real thing. It's not about what the enemy's going to do to us or what their news media fear-mongering is going to do. They are afraid. That's why they shake in their boots and lie constantly and make all kinds of things up. One sec. Stay hydrated. It's good for you. All right. Anyway, so I have something I did that like some people could construe as bold. And it's amazing. So I've been part of this group for a little while on Facebook. And don't worry, I don't really use Facebook. A couple people sent me friend requests in the past, and I had to explain. I was like, I don't accept friend requests. I don't use this except just to look at these cars. Like, I'm only here to look at this car group. I'm sorry. But check it out. So, what's going on? No, really? Oh, I'm having problems, aren't I? Here, let's try this. Give me just 1 sec here. I noticed it was doing this earlier. Control center now playing. I wonder why it did that to me. Like, every once in a while, OBS will start crashing out, you know? It's really a sign that I need to get a new computer because my computer just cannot seem to... Yo, it made it so tiny. Why is it so little? Why is it so small? What, and now I can't click on it either? Look at how tiny it made it. Why is it so little? Okay, hold on. There's no reason for that. Well, I don't know, dude. I do not know. I'll try to make it big. How about that? Okay. Whatever, dude. Okay, you can see that? Is it movable? All right, cool. All right, so check this out. So I used an AI render to modify this car. This is my, not mine exactly, but it's the same kind of car that I have, the SL 500. And I wanted to maybe do like a speedster top on it with these little humps on it. So I AI rendered it. And obviously this AI is like really crappy. There's like no steering wheel. It's like there's issues. But I didn't realize how absolutely crazy these people are in this group for this car. Like they're like elitists and crazy about the car. So I was like working on a project to create a speedster top that attaches using the factory hardtop mounting. It will include a smooth section that connects to the top of the windshield. Your car will believe it still has a hard top on it. AI image reference, not the exact design, but close enough for now. It got a ton of responses. It got like almost 900 responses, and most posts in this group get like 200. And this guy, right off the bat, okay, I want to believe you, but I can't ignore your name. It's because on the top it says Conman posted it. So I forget, you know, I live in my own world. And I have been living in my own world for a long time, long enough so that like I forget that the world outside like has all these like crazy delusional ideas. And not that con man's one of them, but it's just, I'm so used to con man being me that I don't even relate the word con man to like a criminal or a scammer. It's completely out of my mind. That's not what I think of at all when I hear con man. Every once in a while there'd be like Mark Levin yelling on Fox News and it'd be like, cause he's a con man. And I'm like, who? Me? What? Like, there'd be the same like person trying to use it as an insult, and I'm like, oh, I forgot. That's an insult. It's a bad thing to be a con man, apparently. Well, I'm changing the rules. It's apparently a bad thing. Swastikas are evil. We're working on that one. Look at it. It's literally like 1 in 1. Like, definitely creative, but it doesn't look good. Some people like it, though. Like, there's people that hate it. Return the blowers to the car wash. I definitely purchased these. Amazing. You know? And then there's the people that really strike for the heart. Poor Bruno Sacco, the legendary designer of the R129, who said himself it was the most perfect car that he had ever seen, that he had ever touched, that he got to participate. R129 is very widely loved, obviously, by the fan base here. These guys are crazy. Have you considered a Targa style top? See, I talked about that, like a T-top. I thought about maybe that was a possibility. I'm gonna click like on that guy because I did think about that. Everyone's like, no! This person thinks I did it. Just ruined a classic. Good job, you ruined it. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. If you're a part of that group, I'm sure you can find the post on there. But, you know, people have love and hate about whatever you do. I was just amazed that something so simple, like, you guys probably don't know the car as well as I do, but it's a convertible, so it has a soft top that comes out under here and closes. But other than that, it also has like a hard top roof that clicks on top for the like winter season or whatever. Anyway, these little humps on the back are not part of it, and I never thought it would inflame everybody so much. But, you know, it's just something interesting, you know. I was calling it boldness because, just because it was, you know, it was a chance to do some wild stuff, right? Man, you know, the chat froze too. I'm not loving it. The OBS has been giving me all kinds of trouble lately. I've been almost like about to buy a new computer, but there's so much money. And I just don't want to be completely broke. You know how that is. Let's see, what can we do here to item 0. Okay. You know, if I have to recalibrate everything, it's going to be terrible, but we'll try to make it work. Look at how it makes them all small. Why does it do that? That is so weird, guys. It's gonna be like that all night. And I had examples I wanted to show you guys of some stuff. It sucks. All right, we'll see if we can make it happen. Let's keep rolling with it. All right, so I'm assuming this is working. Chat's working for now. We'll see. Let's go back over here. All right, let's talk about it. Where did Thanksgiving come from? Obviously, it's not a world holiday. It's from this continent over here. AI has a little bit of information here about the Feast of Tabernacles, or Sukkot. I had to remember how to say it. The American Thanksgiving feast is believed by many scholars to have roots in the biblical Feast of Tabernacles, or Sukkot. Both are harvest festivals celebrated with feasting, gratitude, and communal gatherings to give thanks for a bountiful harvest and God's provisions. The Pilgrims, who had lived among Sephardic Jews in Holland before coming to America, may have adopted this tradition as a model for their own celebration of thanks. Similarities between Thanksgiving and the Feast of Tabernacles. Sorry, my voice is just not working tonight. Harvest celebration. Both holidays are fundamentally harvest festivals that celebrate the bounty of the land. Gratitude. Both involve giving thanks to God for a successful harvest and for his provisions. Communal gathering. Both traditions emphasize family and communal gatherings. Feasting. Both holidays are celebrated with significant feasting and sharing of food. Pilgrimage theme. The Pilgrims, like the ancient Israelites during the Feast of Tabernacles, saw themselves as a people who had made a long journey to a new land. Hence, Sukkot and the origins of Thanksgiving. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this tonight, just because it's very interesting. Wendy shared some of this information with me, and I did not know this, but, you know, there's a lot of mystery here. I want to read about this. We have an article here that is from Bible Journal Class. This is actually a real easy read. So I'm going to read this to you guys, and we'll talk a little bit about the first Thanksgiving. And I have some theories about North America during that time that I think will help kind of associate why this is definitely more likely the true origin rather than some, you know, kind of, what would you call it? Like, whatever the made up, like, buckle shoes pilgrim stories that we've all been force fed all of our lives. The entire world is nothing like what we imagined it was in the past. They have lied through their teeth for years, making movies and paintings and crap to make us all think the world looked a certain way. This is all, okay, so it's not like North America had tents. What happened to all the giant Greco-Roman buildings everywhere? Oh, those just weren't there? Like, you guys, there's a whole thing. But check it out. Could the first Thanksgiving feast have been inspired by their observations of Bible's Sukkot rituals, the Feast of Tabernacles in Leviticus? Thanksgiving will be observed in the United States on this Thursday. This holiday has evolved from a season of family and fellowship into a weekend of football and an obsessive spend fest in search of the best Black Friday discounts. I hear that. Gaming PC. Aside from a few moments of reflection on the worldly items for which we are grateful, I worry whether we have lost sight of the genuine spirit of Thanksgiving. The Puritans, the first people to celebrate Thanksgiving, were well informed in the Bible and understood that Sukkot was a harvest festival. The Pilgrims based their customs on the Bible. They knew that Sukkot was an autumn harvest festival, and there's evidence that they fashioned the first Thanksgiving after the Jewish custom of celebrating the success of the year's crops. After the Pilgrims had overcome numerous hardships and harvested their first harvest, they established the custom of giving thanks for the harvest and the abundance of the year. They staged a 3-day party with 90 Wampanoag Native Americans joining the 53 Pilgrims. That's a cool picture. I mean, I know this is the narrative, right? Still a cool painting. Christian pilgrims fled persecution in England due to their Puritan views and resided in Holland for a time in 1607. They found themselves living among another oppressed group, exiled Sephardic Jews from Spain. Many Americans, upon seeing a decorated sukkah for the first time, remark on how much the sukkah and the holiday generally reminds them of Thanksgiving. This is cool, too, if you look at this little tent here. I wonder if we can get zoomed in on it a little bit. Oh, we can. Let's go. So this is like the little tent, traditional tent with their little table set up in it. And it seems that, looking at this, it definitely would be reminiscent of Thanksgiving as we see it. Right. Many Americans, upon seeing the decorated sukkah for the first time, remark on how much the sukkah, whatever, it reminds them of Thanksgiving. The American Pilgrims who originated the Thanksgiving holiday were deeply religious people, as they were trying to find a way to express their thanks for their survival and for the harvest. It's quite possible that they looked to the Bible for an appropriate way of celebrating and based their holiday in part on the Feast of Tabernacles. There is undoubtedly a lot in common, both taking place in the fall. Both are about pilgrims. The early Christian immigrants of America were later known as pilgrims, much as the Jewish people used to make pilgrimage to Jerusalem 3 times a year for the holy holidays. Both began with people groups who were persecuted and had to flee. Both require harvesting and joyous gathering. Both are based on the biblical exhortation to express gratitude. Sukkot is regarded as a model for Thanksgiving. I do not know what's going on today with that voice. Hope it just passes. Both celebrations are centered on expressing appreciation for a plentiful harvest. Both are centered on family and communal gatherings. Both feature an abundance of food and feasting. The Feast of Tabernacles begins 5 days after Yom Kippur on the 15th of Tishri, September or October. It is a drastic change from one of the most solemn holidays in our year to one of the most joyous. Tabernacles is also known as the Feast of the Ingathering, Feast of the Booths, Sukkot. Oh, yeah, okay. Variations in spellings occur because these words are transliterations of the Hebrew word pronounced Sukkot. I like that they added that. That's great. The Feast of Tabernacles is a week-long fall harvest festival commemorating the 40-year journey of the Israelites in the wilderness. In many ways, this happy celebration of the crops is like a Thanksgiving Day celebration. The Feast of Tabernacles was the final and most important holiday of the year. The importance of this festival is indicated by the statement, "This is to be a lasting ordinance." The divine pronouncement, "I am the Lord your God," concludes this section on the holidays of the seventh month. The word Sukkot means booths and refers to the temporary dwellings that Jews are commanded to live in during this holiday, just as the Jews did in the wilderness. The Feast of Tabernacles lasts for 7 days and ends on the 21st day of the Hebrew month of Tishri, which is Israel's 7th month. This holiday has a dual significance, historical and agricultural, just as Passover and Pentecost. Historically, it was to be kept in remembrance of the dwelling in tents in the wilderness for the 40-year period during which the children of Israel were wandering in the desert. It is expounded in Leviticus 23:43 that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. What were they to remember? They were to observe this festival in thanksgiving to God for all the blessings of the year. Nonetheless, the emphasis is on redemption, which is in its ultimate meaning the forgiveness of sin. This distinguishes this event from the harvest holidays of neighboring nations. How humble they were to begin with, and how God brought them up from a low and empty place. 1 Peter 5:6-7. Because God was so kind to them, when they lived in tents, he not only set up a tent for himself among them. I've been having all kinds of trouble. My screen just turned off. Why is that happening to me? Can we not? No! Guys, I don't even know if you can still see me because my display is gone. That, I have to say, is very, very, very wild. I don't think we did anything that weird. Yeah, it's just a fuzzy screen. I can't even see what's... How? Did it come back? Come on. Oh, it came back. Let's go. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, because God was so kind to them, he also set up a tent for himself, but he also hung a cover over them, a cloud to protect them from the sun's heat. We should also remember, or always remember, the good things God has done for us and those who came before us. Happy Thanksgiving. Giving thanks on everyday days is an excellent thing. It's a tradition that we should all embrace. Well, I almost got through that without it crapping out. I'm not sure what's going on there. How is chat? Is it still working? Yay, it is still working. Hey, good to see you, Pepe. I was just talking about you earlier, man. Y'all, I hope you're doing well. Wednesday night, again, is always my favorite night to get together with you guys and chill, and my screen went off again. Oh, man. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I wonder if it's like actually my cable. Yeah, I think it is. Maybe we try a new cable. Try a new cable before a new computer, because I can... No! Dude, that is so unfortunate. I know you guys can't see what I see, but like when your whole screen turns off, you can't even really do anything out here. Let me see if I can fix it. It acted like it was going to turn back on. I even moved it and it kind of did turn back on for a second. I don't even think it's this end of the cord, to be honest. I'm sorry, guys. It's really disappointing. I can continue to rant, but it'll be blind. I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't see. So, I also can't control the stream either. Oh, there's nothing I can do about this? Just bear with me one sec. I mean, maybe I could just try unplugging it again. It's possible that the actual computer is just like the display optical port on it is fried or something. That is just brilliant. Well, I guess somebody said you guys could still see me. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess it's just like we're stuck wherever we're at. I can pull up the chat on my phone. And I can keep up on chat on my phone. But I can see what you guys are saying via that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could definitely see that where I'm still up. It's just, oh, that sucks, man. I would love to fix this, but I don't know if there's anything I can do tonight. Oh, I don't know. It kind of looks like, yeah. I don't know, dude. I can't do anything about it. I don't know unless I like were to restart my computer, but I don't think that's going to fix it either. It seems like it's like actually just done. Like it took a dive. Because it's not the monitor. I can switch sources and it'll change. Like it'll change. Oh, it came back on. I don't want to do anything. I'm afraid it's going to crap out. Guys, I'm sorry. We never just have a simple week, do we? All I'm trying to do is counteract the satanic corporate version of holidays in this country, and now all of a sudden it's like, you know what I mean? Screens crapping out. I don't want to touch anything because I'm afraid it's gonna do it again. Let's just move on, okay? Let's see if we can do it. Chances are Thanksgiving is actually a biblical feast that has been taken over by Satanists. Now, let me expound. Let me tell you guys some more thoughts about this thing. So, as you guys know, I mentioned earlier, we know that North America is a place where Pepe, HDMI is probably listening. It's not that. It's actually, there's something wrong with that. Something really wrong with this thing. Anyway, I think it's actually the port is failing on the computer. Maybe I can fix that. Who knows? Anyway, we discussed briefly how in North America there was buildings that were here before the settlers, right? Like we talk about it from the perspective of the millennial kingdom was already here. These buildings were founded, right? So if that's the perspective, then we have this issue that the story of Thanksgiving as we know it, as it's told secularly in history, is completely false. Because the Native Americans, as we know them to be, are completely false. We have this idea that everyone was just living in tents, and that's not true. There are giant palatial cities that exist today. Some of the buildings clearly are hundreds of years old. And so the issue with that is that those buildings would have already been here and people would have already known about them. It wouldn't have been a secret. Like that's where you get all these like 7 cities of gold, El Dorado, and all these stories. It's because there were cities already here and people knew about them. And there are Native American legends that talk about how they were haunted or they were evil. Like they thought the cities were cursed and didn't want to be there. Very interesting lore, to say the least. But I don't think that what I was saying or what I intended to say regarding that was so significant that I had to get shut off. You know, that's one thing I love about Kool-Aid drinkers, like all of us. Like something breaks mechanically, like this crappy computer breaks, and then we're like, well, it must be over the target. That's so funny to me. I'm sorry. I just think that's great. It's like it's I don't want to call it narcissism because everybody takes that really seriously, and I understand there's a need to, but like I joke all the time. I'm like trying to be as narcissistic as possible for fun. And that'd be one of the examples. It's like, well, it's obviously because I'm so important that things, oh no. He crapped out again, dude. What is a guy got to do to get some HDMI capacity out here? I know we get told that the cord is loose, but I think it's worse than that. I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's gray, and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you, it's Friday. I'm in. Come on. Uh-oh. Something happened to my microphone too. I lost one ear. I can't hear out of one of my ears on my headphones. Oh boy. Oh man. What did I do, bro? What did I do today? What did I do to do this? Pretending to be a narcissist is freaking hilarious. Only as a joke. You don't want to really be one. Man, you know, have you ever wanted to like pick up a piece of machine and just beat it until it was dust? I mean, I suppose you wouldn't be able to see it happen. If I like tear it off the wall and start smashing it, it'll just cut the stream. I'm still here. Yeah, someone's saying your video is not matching your audio. Your words don't match your lips. That's not good. Starman says, pull out the 4-pound hammer. No, I'm not going to do anything to it. I just wish I could understand what something has taken a serious dive, and I can't tell you what it is. I think it's just... Link? Yo. Hey, that fixed it. Yeah. Didn't fix the display, but it fixed the audio. Well, it's okay. I mean, luckily this isn't a very serious night. I didn't have some crazy compelling thing. Do it. Clip it. Office equipment always cooperates when you pull the hammer out. This is so true. You're like, I threatened it and it started working again. Don't you mess with me, boy. I know where you live. I know where you sleep. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. That was funny. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to some crazy stuff. I was on Facebook. You know, I've been on Facebook. I see some stuff come down the thing. I'll share it sometimes because it's crazy. I saw this one show up earlier, and it really spoke to me, made me laugh. We'll see if this is what they really don't want me to share. This is going down one of the rabbit holes. So I got this photo here. It showed... Check this thing out. I mean, this is just crazy. It's AI, obviously. But, it's like that famous photo. You know what I'm talking about. We got this guy. So it's Trump, right? Trump. We got Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard. These are all people who helped get Trump into power. They helped establish his authority. They all helped advance his cause. And now here he is all alone. And in a way, it's kind of a sad, poetic image here because it's like, here's Trump no longer. And of course, you can be nitpicky about why does his face look different here and there. And whatever. Marjorie Taylor Greene looks super weird, too. She's got a huge head. Anyway, it's the sentiment of the image, okay? Just think about it like this. It's basically Stalin, right? I don't know if you guys have seen this image. It's a famous image of Stalin. And what had happened was he had taken this photo with a friend of his who helped him rise to power. And then what happened was, as the Communist Party in Russia got more and more out of control, they were killing everybody, and even Stalin's own guys got eliminated. And there's truth to the story that basically all these people were with Trump, and he has basically had them all eliminated one at a time, though not literally. But, they're not friends anymore. And it made me want to pull up Wendy. She's like, that is not a female. It looks like a bad 80s rock star. What, Marjorie? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, kind of. That's definitely not a good look. Anyway. There they are, your favorite communists. So let's look into this. This is the next thing that we're not supposed to talk about. Screen will probably turn off right about now. The photo book that captured how the Soviet regime made the truth disappear. This is just something I felt like was worth reiterating. It's something that I knew happened, but I hadn't really thought about it much, and that picture kind of set it off for me. Let's go. There's a bunch to talk about and read about here, but this is the photo in question, right? This is the famous photo. Clement Voroshilov, Vyacheslav Molotov. Let's go. Joseph Stalin and Nikolai Yezhov walking along the banks of the Moscow-Volga Canal in April 1937. Nikolai Yezhov has been removed from the original image. So just like our Donald Trump and his associates, especially Nikolai, Elon, they're just not there. It's as if they never were there. And it's crazy. I mean, look, you can even see how his little trench coat dips in where he's leaning against the wall. There's a little divot there. That's all you have left of Nikolai Yezhov. And what's amazing is you look this up. Look this up. Nikolai Yezhov was removed from a photograph after he fell out of favor with Joseph Stalin, a process known as disappearing. This was part of a wider Soviet practice of visual censorship during political purges where images were altered to erase purged figures from official history. Yezhov, who was responsible for the Great Purge, was eventually purged himself and executed. Visual censorship. As a result, the Soviet government had his image retouched out of official press photos to erase him from history. The Vanishing Commissar. Yezhov became one of the most famous examples of this practice, earning him the name the Vanishing Commissar. So there's all kinds of examples here. This is another example here. Vladimir Lenin speaking in Moscow to Red Army soldiers departing for the Polish front in 1920. Leon Trotsky and Lev Borisovich Kamenev behind are on the steps to the right. They're standing right here. This is an official photograph, and they released this airbrushed where these two gentlemen, not even there. It's as if they never existed. Of course, it's not the exact same image, but this is the one they keep for the record. They say, this is what really happened. We don't care what reality looks like. This is the example. Just to show how insane these people and their worldview is. And it just is an amazing thing to see this kind of thing happening in real life. Now, obviously, this isn't the perfect example because we're just looking at like a meme. But them changing and lying about history is so relevant and so constant. We even look at, like I said, 6 years ago was COVID. And by now, they've completely rewritten the story. Everything that happened, the people responsible, the people that died. Look at this. We've got these guys right here. Just gone. And him. Kamenev or whatever his name is. Gone. Anyway, just crazy. They write their own stories. They write their own history. Just how unreal can things get as the sense of shared reality is eroded more with each passing day, one wonders. Writing on the relationship between truth and politics in this magazine 51 years ago, Hannah Arendt noticed just how vulnerable factual truth is, using the example of the role during the Russian Revolution of a man by the name of Trotsky, who appears in none of the Soviet Russian history books. 30 years after Arendt published her article, a British collector and historian of Russia, David King, published a study in the form of a photo album, a study of the disappearance of the physical record of Trotsky and a number of other Russians who fell out of favor and out of history during the Stalin era. The Commissar vanishes. Really interesting. I feel like I want to get this book and read it because that just sounds so interesting to look through it and to see these examples and to read about the times. Just an amazing concept to think about, that they totally erase history as it happens, and we're living in that time today. A time in which history has been altered severely, and who even knows when we look at pictures like the old world, how much of those photos are real. You know, the sky always looks a certain way, foggy. The cities all look decrepit and ancient. Decrepit's not a word, but corroded and anyway, I just think that's funny. The irony is there, right? It was Yezhov himself who helped to advance this whole process of disappearing people they don't like, and now he fell out of favor. He was executed himself. Imagine that. You were right next to the big boss. You thought that your like let's kill everyone thing wouldn't come back to haunt you, right? And it's this poetic and crazy reality that we live in. And there's even like a prayer in Psalms, I believe. I can't remember exactly what it was. But it basically talks about, you dug a pit for me, may you fall in and suffer the pit that you dug for me. And that's literally the case of this, that this Yezhov guy was a person who sought the death of people who were not his political allies, and created a process of doing this that eventually consumed him himself. And it's just crazy to think about. It's the reason why you have to have standards, right? You have to have a Purple Palace Permaculture says, when you have a falling out with the boys or a GF and got to edit the pic for Insta, yeah, you plug it into Gemini. You say, hey, Gemini, remove that guy on the right. He's not with us anymore. He fell out of favor. But yeah, you really don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy who pushes the world to a worse place and then suffers because of it. I think there's a definite like discussion that could be had about that. Maybe I'll just take the point to say that during my travels on social media lately, I've been kind of exploring the state of the world. I don't advise doing it, and I think it's healthy to not use social media, even though there's going to be a big expanse of my presence on social media as part of like the expansion of the channel and the CDM thing. But I don't want to be on there hanging out because it's just crazy. And It's wild out there, you know. People believe all kinds of nonsense. It starts to kind of wear you down a little bit to realize how lost everybody is. I sometimes think it's bots. Like that there's a lot of bot driven where people just say things that aren't, nobody really thinks that. But really, I mean, you do see a lot of people with really toxic worldviews. You know, heathens that hate the world and have crazy ideas about how to make it what they want it to be. And it is dangerous. It's just like this guy, you know, Yezhov, whatever. You know, he thought for sure that he was doing what he thought was the right thing. I'm sure he was yucking it up. He's even got that little grin on his face in the photo. He's so proud of himself. We'll take a look at him one more time. Look at him. He's so proud of himself. All the while not knowing that he would soon be dead. Oh, where do we go? We got to go a little farther down. There he is. Look at how smug he is. Very happy. Now dead. Anyway, it's crazy, you know. It's like Trotsky. Like you can't even find proof that guy exists anymore. You know? They removed him from the photos. He's not even there. I hope they don't do that to me, but I guess it doesn't matter. You know? I'm not here for the impact of this world. I'm here for the impact afterwards. Everything we do here is about what happens afterwards. That's why we're here. Anyway, obviously this has been a trying time for many. Thanksgiving and even the winter season holidays have historically been really hard for a lot of people, and I totally resonate with that. I understand. And I think that it's still worth taking a moment to consider what we are thankful for. In the face of everything that is wrong in the world, there are still a lot of things that are worth valuing. And so we put together a short list of 5 things that we're grateful for this year. And I thought I would share that with you guys. The first thing on the list, obviously, is Jesus Christ, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And we are really thankful for him, obviously. I mean, it goes without saying, but we say it anyway because that's what we do, right? We say, thank you, Jesus, for everything. But God so loved the world, right? It's not that he sent Jesus because we were bad or because he needed us to get course corrected because we were doomed. I mean, that's part of it. But it's because God loved us. He loved the world. He loved what he had made here, and he loved the people that he made in it. And he wanted us to have a chance to be his people again and to work for him and to have his influence and kingdom. Because God knows that what's good for us is not a government that eventually disappears you and the rotten institutions of man, but higher ways, higher thoughts. It's a beautiful thing. And so we're grateful for Jesus because Jesus is not only the man who atones for our sins and makes the path for us to come back to the kingdom, you know, so that we can actually, you know, be a part of that. But he also is the King of Kings. He comes to the earth to establish a kingdom that has a hierarchy of authority. It has a like a structure and rules and everything about it so that it's different from what's here. It stands as like an opposition to the forces of the world. And Jesus makes that a reality. So whenever you see something unjust, you know, judges letting off repeat criminals who then set women on fire on the train or stab women in the neck on the train. You know, you see these terrible situations and I get angry because what about the accountability for the judges? You know what I'm saying? Right? And we want justice and we want things to change. But, you know, there'd be no hope. You know what I'm saying? Like if it weren't for Jesus Christ and his great work in the world, his example, his sacrifice and the establishment of his kingdom in this world, there would be no hope that the world would ever see resolution to our problems, like crazy abortion and all the Satanists running everything. And it seems pretty bad. But I have an incredibly good attitude because I know who I serve and I know what kingdom I'm a part of. And that's Jesus who did that for me. And Jesus has done that for all of us. And he'll do that for others too. This is not over yet. There are so many people that will come to the kingdom before the day is done. And I don't just mean this day, but I pray this day as well. You know, let every day be a day that we give thanks for Jesus and his good work in the world. Amen. Let's go. I got another one here. Not just Jesus, but creation and everything in it, the beauty that we can see even in this ugly world. Because not just Jesus, right? But all the beautiful things in the world, the lands, the trees, the birds, the grasses of the fields, you know, the lakes and ponds and streams, the fish, the bugs, little puppies and kittens and everything. The world has so much good in it. Despite all the evil trying to ugly it up, trying to shitify the world, there's so much good still to be had. And we're grateful for that. We're glad that we can enjoy the little things in life still. Yeah, it's easy to be distracted by phones and screens and the hustle and bustle of a never-ending crazy fear news cycle and chaos and warfare, endless war and BS. But there are lots of good things in the world for us to be grateful for, and it's okay to turn it off sometimes, unplug from the craziness of the world and go out there and just smell the flowers a little bit. God didn't want us to be so distracted. I was talking about this the other day. I was thinking, if we didn't have any phones, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have TV, we didn't have any sort of media, right? You hear about people who commune with spirits. They call them mediums. And media is the same thing. It's like an in-between, the spirits and man. I would say shut that off and just get out there and spend some time in the quiet. What would our conversations look like sitting on tree stumps around a fire? You know what I mean? What would our conversations be like next to a calmly babbling brook, a little stream going down? What would our life be about? What would our purpose be? What would our focus be if we weren't so distracted by all the crazy stuff? God has given us lots of things to ponder and consider and think about and enjoy and look at. And then despite everything that's bad in the world, there are a lot of beautiful things in the world. That is another thing to be grateful for. It's very true. Amen. The provisions that Father has given, things we don't deserve, right? There are so many things here that we have that go beyond just the basic, right? That we can stand on solid ground, that we can float boats across the rivers and lakes and oceans, that we can fly in planes. We have access to the terrain and the animals, the birds and fish and everything. And that's a really cool thing. But beyond that, we also have the blessing of everything that's been built and created through the good work of people. God made mankind. He gave us that creative spark that gives us the ability to engineer and design and imagine and fabricate. And although we sometimes use our gifts for wrong and for wickedness, there are many ways that we can use those gifts for good. And it was someone's idea to invent the internet, whether they meant malice by it or not. It was someone's idea to connect us all together using this crazy web, they called it the World Wide Web. And now here we are on Wednesday night talking about crazy cult stuff, Kool-Aid drinking, kingdom stuff, Destination Kingdom, awooga, right? There we go. It was a little late on the job, but you know what I'm saying? So we're allowed to do that. And I think that's one thing I always want to try to encourage everybody here. It's about reclaiming our authority in Christ. These things in the world are just tools. The world is made of dust and air, and it's just molecules arranged in other molecular structures, and it's all subject to man. So the question is, do we use these tools for evil, or do we use these tools for good? Do we build and advance and engineer things that are for the better of mankind, or do we build systems to harm people and poison people and rob from them? Only you can be the steward of what God gives you, but let's be grateful for the things that God has given us. I was talking the other day about how it's not everybody, but most people have all their faculties, and I don't mean everybody. But everybody you come in contact with at the store has both eyes and their fingers still attached and their arms and legs, and we don't look at someone who's whole and say, oh my gosh, you're all in one piece, you're in one piece, you're in one piece. You don't point out everybody who's whole. We see someone in a wheelchair and we say, oh no, that person's paralyzed. Or you see somebody who's missing an eyeball and you're like, oh, I wonder what happened to that guy. Is it a disease? Did he lose it in war? It's not natural to be missing, to be broken. And so we notice it. Somehow we take for granted all the things God's given us. The moving arms and legs and fingers and toes. If you got them, wiggle them right now. Feel those fingers and toes, wiggle those around and say, thank you, God, for what you've given to me. I may not be rich. I may not be able to change the world at a moment's notice, but let's not forget that we have been blessed so much. And that's really the heart of what this holiday is supposed to be about, is being thankful and remembering that God has done so much for us. And this is another example of the provisions we've been given. For me, it's not maybe a big Thanksgiving feast or whatever, but I will eat and we will have a good time and we'll make the most of it or whatever. And this community, we may not be sitting here eating actual bread, but we're here enjoying the bread of the truth of the Spirit, and getting an opportunity to fellowship with one another on the eve of this great holiday is, to me, really the spirit of what the holiday is really supposed to be about. And I think that if we're celebrating it from the perspective that, this could be a holy feast to celebrate the harvest, right? The harvest being the provision that the Lord has made. Let's celebrate today for that reason. That God has made this day and has given us all this opportunity to come together as individuals and as a group and to learn more about, each other and the season and the King and the reason for the season, you know what I'm saying? And so it's a good thing. It's good. We're grateful for that. Amen. Number 4 is the community, the people in our lives. This cult on the internet, I think it touches back on the idea that we discussed earlier about how so many of us have been alienated, not just from the mainstream because of our contrarian views about the world, like, conspiracy theories, that things are changing, right? The conspiracy theorists have been right so many times that it's almost like, I'm going to err on the side of conspiracy theorists from now on. Have a really good success rate. I think somebody looked it up. Alex Jones, as much as we can say about him, he's been right like 94% of the time about absolutely everything. And of course, that's what happens when you have inside sources, but that's not the point. He was reporting the truth most of the time, as crazy as it sounds. I remember this video clip I always loved so much, and he was like, Hillary Clinton is a demon. He's like talking about how these people are demons. It's one of the funniest rants. You know what I'm talking about? It's so funny. He's right, though. Look, I don't know that everyone in Hollywood is a demon, but these people are demons. They're evil. I wonder if I can find it really quick. I'm almost positive I can pull it up right away. Oh, come on. Of course not. It's not going to be on YouTube. It's right here. Okay, just this short diatribe.
What do I do, Lord?
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
This is their plan, people. These are demons. Just like the Bible says, it's basically an intergalactic invasion into this space through people. I'm telling you, it's what all the ancients said. It's what they warned of. It's what we're dealing with. They're demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay? I'll just say it. Make fun of me all you want on CNN or wherever, but everyone already innately knows this. These people are not frickin' humans, okay?
These people are not freaking humans, okay? I don't know if I needed the Doom music and gameplay. I think that was like Final Doom is what that was. That one was true too. And he was that on Joe Rogan, or was it Tim Cass when he was like, I am kind of retarded? It was Joe Rogan. It was the episode with Eddie Bravo, and he made Eddie Bravo choke him out. That guy is crazy. In fact, Alex Jones is so funny. I know we're kind of getting off, but there was this episode where he was on Timcast, and it was this weird episode where it was like Tim Pool, a couple other friends, Alex Jones, and transgender influencer Blair White. And I don't think Alex Jones knew that they were like in an RV in Tim Pool's driveway. It was the weirdest podcast ever. And they're all in that RV. It was getting a little weird. Alex Jones like kept like looking over at Blair White and saying stuff like flirtatious and weird stuff. And it was like, I don't know if you know. Oh man, he probably did know. That guy's a sicko. I think he's a freak like the rest of them. I'm just gonna say that now. But anyway, that was super awkward. When I see things like that happening in the Matrix, I'm convinced how fake the whole thing is. I'm like, why is there an RV in Tim's driveway with a weird podcast going on with Alex Jones and Blair White? It was, things are, I can't live. Have you seen that meme? It's like the professor from Futurama, and he's like, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I know it's not a planet, but I don't want to live on it anymore. Something's got to change, man. I cannot resonate. What is going on? Like I went to Pendleton. This is a town in Oregon. It's like in the middle of nowhere. Very cool place. There's like these giant like fields of stone, like just giant rolling. Like they look like mountains. It's just like melted everything. Like there used to be a whole world there, totally rendered into nothing. Crazy. But this little town of Pendleton is just like a quiet, normal town. People just kind of walk down the street and like go to the little shops, and then they like work on farms, like mostly what people do. You know, you go to the tire thing. Like there's a town there, but it's mostly like quiet. It's very small and quiet town. And like when I go to a place like that, it's like the complete opposite of what you see on the internet and in major cities. And like, it's amazing that places like that can exist. These little pockets of just normal life, normal people, you know. It's not perfect. But like the contrast of like just everyone you speak to is just like a guy like trying to go to work and feed their kids. It's normal people, like a normal life. And then you got like Tim Pool with an RV full of like strange influencers and weird stuff going on. And Alex Jones like weirdly flirting at a much younger person who's also like his... it's a guy, okay? It's very strange. I sometimes like I watched the movie Idiocracy not even that long ago, and I feel like they tried really hard, but they just could not. You can't imagine it. You can't make it up. You could not have made up how weird everything is. Like the Trump era, Trump rising to power. Donald Trump, the like New York billionaire, is like currently the president again, but he lost to an old man who like couldn't stay on a bike. Like everything is crazy. I get it. It's distracting. I think that's the point. It's supposed to be distracting from what's really important. Like what all this diatribe that I got into. The community. Number 4, the people in our lives, this community. It's crazy to be able to be here again with all of you guys and to talk about all this crazy stuff and just to reflect. Because again, we made ourselves pariahs to the world, whether we meant to or not. By becoming followers of Jesus, we automatically became rejected by the world that rejected him first. That's part of the story. But then to go a step further and say, through this wisdom and spiritual discernment, I've begun to think critically. I've expected a higher standard of myself and of everyone else, because what I call kingdom quality, which everybody knows, is like this Holy Spirit inkling inside everybody. There's this feeling that makes you look at things that suck and say, why does that suck? That shouldn't suck. It should be better. It's like when you see somebody who's crippled, you don't say, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I want you to stand up from that chair. I want you to walk in victory. I want to win here, man. And that's a crazy thing. But that's kingdom quality. That's the Holy Spirit saying, notice that the world isn't right, and you are supposed to be here to do something. That's what we're here for. And that's a compelling thing. But then, yeah, so through that Holy Spirit and discernment, we've gone farther. We've realized they're lying about everything. I came up with this artwork the other day, and I'm going to share it with you guys soon, don't worry. Not tonight, though. But it's artwork that is... my effort to try to repaint what the world looked like a couple hundred years ago. Because we always imagine each era of history having a certain like imagery because of what they programmed us to imagine, right? You imagine 1900s, it's like, you know, if it's the earlier half of the 1900s, it's like people in suits, bowler hats, you know what I mean? And then you go 1800s and it's like Civil War, top hats and like, you know, orphan train looking timeline. And then you go to 1700s and it's like buckle shoes and George Washington. And you go to 1600s and it's like conquistadors and pilgrims. You know what I mean? And so for every 100 years of history since, you know, however long it's actually been since the millennial reign, they've given us all these ideas. Well, this era looked like that and that era looked like that. And so I'm working to kind of illustrate what the world would have actually looked like during the end of the millennial reign. Like, how would people dress and what kind of technology was there and, like, what kind of integration was there? Because there's no denying that, like, an ancient giant castle type building would have still been there in what they call the Old West. So you'd have guys, like, on horseback looking like cowboys, but there'd be castles next to them. You know what I'm saying? You'd have guys with, like, a George Washington style tri-corner hat, you know, on a horse and a train going by. An airship up in the air, a castle. And so these images are necessary, I think, for training people to reimagine that the world is not exclusive. Like a tri-corner hat is not exclusive to the 1700s like a cowboy hat's exclusive to the 1800s. You know what I mean? It's like we get in our idea, this mind, and I can't even communicate. We get in our mind this idea that the world has like cutoffs. You know, that like during the 1800s, everyone dressed this way, and then they stopped dressing that way. And then in the 1900s, they dressed this way. And it's like, look at the world today. Fashion, style, it's different for where you live and for every decade, and things come out of style and they come back into style. And so what's really important is trying to envision the technology of the world during that time. That's just something I'm working on, and I will share with you guys in the future. But again, our opportunities to come together and to talk about such things and envision such things, ask these questions. That's something I'm grateful for. That's the fourth thing I'm grateful for that I somehow have managed to take forever to talk about and not delivered on. And then we have one final thing, which we call the truth and the hearts of those willing to look into it. And it's kind of an extension of what we said, but it's kind of like it all builds on each other. You know, Jesus first, and then the creation of the world and everything he was sent to ransom, everything that we still have that's good, that God's given us, the people, the community that we have here, despite everyone that we've lost along the way, and without any certainty, knowing, but expecting that we'll gain many more as we go. You know, the truth is that God's kingdom is continually expanding and growing forever, and we're all a part of that. And so we'll continue to meet more people like each other, and maybe not like each other, but on the same page about reality. You know, I think a lot of you guys, and you know, we're connected by this stuff we found, this truth in the gospel of Jesus and the kingdom, what I mean, and that's an amazing thing. But we're from different walks of life, right? Different generations, different people. And so we're not always going to see eye to eye on everything, like what the right solution is or what the right way to the right way to be is. And it's going to be difficult for us in that regard. But we still have that thing that ties us together that's more valuable than everything else. That it's not just that we're on, you know, the same side of a river in like one sports team or another, or that we all have the same, you know, melanin complexion content, whatever, you know, like that. Those things are not strong enough. They're not good enough, which is why it's never held us together before. You know, if all we cared about was what race we were, it'd be like, you know, some people are trying to make it be like that. It's not working. You know, people are contending every day to judge people by their character, by their fruit, which is what Jesus wanted, and that is the ultimate righteous way to be. You know, look at what people do, not what they look like. So we're transcending all those things, and then ultimately the truth and the hearts of those willing to look for it. I mean, obviously we know Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. It comes full circle back to point one. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, for sending Jesus here, your only begotten Son. That's an incredible thing. But just the fact that we care enough to know, right? You know, people try to lambast you, slam you, call you bad names, make you seem stupid because you don't just believe what you've been told, right? Like, let's say it's like the Spaceball thing. It's like everyone's on the same page about Spaceball, and you're like, I don't think I believe Spaceball. And like, why does that make them hate you? Isn't that crazy? Like, I don't hate people because they believe in the globe. What is that about your questioning of their world that makes them mad at you and hate you and want to like use vitriol against you, like calling you names, like these people are so stupid, and like they have so much condemnation and hatred because you don't believe in the garbage narrative, frankly, garbage from a bunch of like idiots from a long, like by now it's like, look, I get it. The 1960s was a long time ago now, and I know a lot of people, like a lot of you guys have been around since then. I'm not knocking you for it. Thanks for being here. Literally, like, thanks for sticking around. But it's weird that like that was shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That guy on the phone with Nixon from 300,000. Come on, every single shred of evidence was crap from the beginning. They built lies on top of lies to try to make that thing make sense over time. Never did. The point is, why are they mad? And it's not even like religion. Like, people don't go to the church of moon landing every Sunday. They don't do anything. Their life is completely not. I get it if it's a guy who like went to college for some astronomy or something. He's like works for NASA. His whole life is invested in that delusion. So they have something to lose when they're proven to be part of a giant compartmentalized lie system of theft and mafioso crime. But what's more is the fact that like everybody else doesn't have any idea. You know what I mean? Like everybody else, like they just believe that stuff. They don't have any reason to be adhered to it. It doesn't get them anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, they're not getting anything out of believing in space. So why are they so mad about it being questioned? It's like if all you wanted to know was the truth, you just look for the truth. You wouldn't be interested in like being right or getting points and one up on people. And I think that's really what speaks to the inauthenticity of that. Because I think that if people were so confident that space was real and everything, they'd just simply accept it, right? Like I saw a meme go by the timeline the other day that was about Jesus, and it was like, Jesus is obviously real, we know that, but it's like so many people, like, they act like Jesus isn't real, he's not the Son of God, he either never existed or he's not the person that you think he is or that they said he was, and blah, blah, blah. There's always this attack on his character and stuff, and it's like, if Jesus wasn't cool and wasn't powerful and wasn't important, why do you even talk about him then? You don't see me wasting my breath on people like Gandhi, who's a fraud and a shill, a lawyer from the UK who just moved to India after abandoning his wife and children and then just started, like, doing all kinds of weird PDF file stuff. Like, hey, that guy was crazy and a horrible person. You don't see me going around trying to tell everyone that their sacred Gandhi was a Satanist or whatever. Like, I know he was a loser. I don't need to convince anyone. It's like there's all this stuff about MLK and how he, like, it's true. He, like, forged all of his papers. He plagiarized all of his college papers, and he plagiarized his entire movement. His whole teachings and everything were all plagiarized. And then the whole, like, judge a man by his character, well, that's Jesus's thing, and he really didn't give much credit to him at all. And that guy was a shill and a psyop. But, like, I know that. See, I'm not going around trying to convince people that MLK was a piece of crap. Because I just know he is. Like, if you believe MLK is great, good job. Like, good for you. I'm glad. I'm glad you think he's great. The problem is he's not. And I don't have to subscribe to that, you know. And that's the same thing about the globe. Like, if you really knew you were right and people who believed the earth was flat were wrong, you just believe they were wrong and move on with your life. They're not threatening you. They're not building anything, right? If the people who had flat earth belief systems had somehow seized control of the government, then you'd have something to worry about because all that $600 billion a year or whatever that goes to NASA would find a new home, elsewhere, and maybe that would bother them. It honestly stands to reason that if you took all the money ever spent on NASA and you just bought gold and then laid it down on the road to drive on, it would be a better expense than the theft that's gone on. That's how preposterous the whole thing is. Like, you could literally waste it and it would be better spent than it being stolen by them in the way that they've stolen it. The water bottle. Or is it Sprite? It is water. Ice water. I keep that thing with me all the time. Good to see you, by the way, Beth. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how crazy the world is that we live in and how absolutely artificial everything is, and yet people love it. They like that myth. They cling to it, and they are threatened when you threaten that. And so there's a cost. There's a cost to pay. There's a price to pay for the truth. It doesn't come cheap. It should be freely given, but the truth is, it's a key to a prison cell. It shall make you free, they say, and so that therefore gives it a cost. And the cost oftentimes is that people will not be willing to join you on that journey to truth. It's very common. That's why, like for me, I just think that we should just continue doing what we're doing and try not to worry about them. Like, be the example. It's not easy. I talk about all the time how we have to be opposition to the forces of wretchedness in the world, but it's like individuals who believe in the ball are not worth your time. You can't argue with them. You can't fight your way through the delusion. And that's just the reality of things. Like we all eventually realize that it's not a hill worth dying on to battle everybody about those belief systems, and so we just have to keep going. You have to keep moving forward. Try to inform people as we can, but it's like the most important thing is getting people to Jesus, because I think that it's like we always say, the way, the truth, and the life. You can't have the truth without Jesus. So how are you going to figure out that it's impossible? Like, you can't see clearly, right? There's a veil over everybody's thinking who is lost in the world. We know that because we've all been there. And the clarity that you receive through the Holy Spirit helps you to see through stuff like that. There's a reason why they lie about the space ball. There's not a reason to, there's no motivation behind believing that the earth is different, biblical cosmology stuff. Believing that is not malicious. But believing there's a ball earth is malicious because it was invented by malicious people on purpose to hide God, to hide your identity, to put you in some infinite space, And that's malicious and dangerous, and so that's the reason why you'd want to tell people, right? For the same reason you want to tell people about the gospel of Jesus is that you know that hell is a dark place. Like, people who are lost are not entering the kingdom; they're being lost, and that is a terrible threat to them. It's an altruistic, it's a selfless pursuit to try your best to spread the truth to the world for free. That is what that is, and it costs you time and money, and often friends. And that is how you end up in situations like many of us are this year. Not that my whole family has written me off, but it's been hard to imagine that I would be like a guest at any extended family gatherings. And it's not that I did anything specifically bad, but it's one of those things where you'll never please these people whose expectations are for things that don't actually matter, Like, if I became a big successful lawyer or a doctor and had a bunch of money, I'm sure they'd all want me around so they could try to find a way to guilt me into paying for a new roof or something for them. But luckily, I am broke, and my roof is the one that needs to be replaced. So, gotcha. Anyway, yeah, it's been good. I'm very grateful for all of you guys. I'm grateful to be able to come here. I'm grateful to be able to chat and to make it this far, even with my equipment crapping out in the way that it is. We're still here. Had a little hiccup there in the middle, but everything worked out okay in the long run. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited. We got the big project this weekend. Hopefully, getting Bamalam finally road ready. Somebody said this, and I'm glad. These cars, these old German cars. In this particular case, it's not the miles that kill it; it's the time. Because so many components have like rubber. The rubber is 25 years old, so now it's made of like pencil eraser. It's like brittle and breaks. So all these things that have to be replaced, but it's part of the labor of love. So I get a chance this weekend to work on that car. I'm grateful for that. Grateful that I have the car. Grateful that it wasn't like some rich guy's garage baby. Like, if I had a lot of money and could buy a big fancy car, it wouldn't have the same spirit as buying like a thrown away piece of junk that people didn't love, and then you get to save it and save a lot of money by doing the work yourself, right? Trust God, take the risk, do the work. I bought that car from all the way across the country, not because it was wise to do, but because I just felt that it was time. Like, the Lord aligned the stuff, and I did it. I trusted God. It was stupid. Why is God giving me a car? What's that going to do for me? Build my character is what it's done. It's forced me to learn things about myself, to prove that I'm capable of things I didn't think I was capable of. Like, when I had the whole intake manifold out and it's like split in half and there's all these little like tabs and like everything's like got a seal perfect because it's vacuum, like it's airtight, and there's all these little tabs and everything was covered in like exhaust gas recirculation corruption, like carbon all over everything. The point is, guys, sometimes the Lord will walk you out onto a ledge you thought you wanted to go on, and then you get out there and you're like, oh no, what was I thinking? And then the Lord like delivers you. And it's like part of this whole chapter where you had to learn something and you gain something in these processes. This is one of those processes. So I'm grateful for the car. I'm grateful for the battle that it's been. And I'm grateful that the Lord will deliver me, and I will be driving Bamalam in the not too distant future for real. And hopefully, for a long time. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that there's going to be a family meal, although it will be small. It's not anything crazy this year, but it will be nice to get together and have some food and take it easy and relax. And I hope all of you guys get a chance to do that, even in a small way. Take care of yourself. Get yourself a little something. Have something good. Even if you're all by yourself, put on a movie, put on the Main Character podcast or something like that. I don't know. Find something to do that allows you to appreciate yourself for how far you've come, and to appreciate God for getting you that far. And that even though it may have cost you a lot, you're that much closer to the kingdom. Remember, it's not about where you are, but it's about where you're going, the direction that you're facing, the trajectory. And for all of us, I see us looking one direction, facing one way, eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. Although we fall short in so many ways, we still have an opportunity to grow and learn. That's the beauty of God's redemptive plan for humanity. And that's the message that we want to share with the world, to empower everyone to know that you matter, you were made for a purpose, that you were meant to be a leader in the world, a powerful leader in this place and in this time even. And God wants to show you that, and I really believe in that. That's the message, I think, for this season in history, is that we're going to empower the world with the truth of who we are. and that will be able to overpower the delusion, to make a noise that's louder or more pure, and that actually cuts through all the BS, Because it's one thing to be a Christian, to like believe in Jesus, but it's a different thing to mean it and to fight for it and to stand up for it, to have your life really be about it. And like I said, for so many of us, it's that fight that cost you your family and friends, your coworkers, your neighbor, whoever it was. And bless you. Not because you got in a fight and maybe handled it wrong, because we've all done that. You wanted them to hear the truth. You're sick of them blaspheming the living king of earth, I get sick of that crap. Like with anything. I used to have this guy work, this black dude, and I always treated him with respect. Never bothered me that he was white, or that he was black and that I was white. It was no problem for me. But he would say stuff that was racist about white people, and I was just expected to deal with it because of some history I had no part in that's mostly fucking fabricated. Sorry about my French. But just like, it frustrates me so much. Imagine you got a guy and he says stuff like, oh, the caucasity, which is funny, like the audacity, but it's the caucasity, like that white people would do things. But then it's like, you know what, you you know what I mean? Like, I get mad. Yeah, it ain't right. And so expanding upon that, when I hear people like offhandedly just insult Jesus and call him whatever, like how that Talmud just prints and says, well, he boils and poop in hell. It's like, I don't know about that one, dude. Like, there's all this about turning the other cheek, but I think about all the time that we have turned the cheek more times than I was told to. How many times am I gonna let these people smack me? I'm kind of out of patience. I have a teaching, and we won't do it tonight, but it's called God Kills People. And it's very controversial, but it's part of re-educating people on what the scope of all of this is. We live in such a presentism, padded, nerfed version of reality that we all think that the world's just like, well, everything's fine. And it's not fine. We have problems. And so ultimately what I'm getting at is just that, like, there is a healthy way to respond and a righteous way to respond. And I'm still working on trying to parse that out because, a lot of good messages in chat about forgiving people and don't sin in anger. And it's true. Like, don't let your anger cause you to sin, and the amount of time that we forgive. And I agree. But we also have a responsibility to be leaders and to be decisive and to make the right decision. And sometimes inaction and tolerance is actually worse than action and intolerance, as difficult as that is. I always like to think about that time. I can't remember exactly who it is, but one of the prophets is having a battle with these satanic priests of Moloch or something. And they're doing all these crazy things, and he basically calls down the fire of God, and these guys get destroyed for their blasphemy. And you see examples like that, and you think, why would God destroy his enemies with fire unless he meant it? God doesn't make mistakes. I learned this lesson a long time ago. People think about eternal fire, the damnation in the lake with the devil. And that lake was designed for Satan and the beast of Revelation and the false prophet. That's what it's for. But it clearly states in that passage that there's people who will go there. Liars and idolaters and thieves and whoremongers and all these people who God will see to it that they burn in hell for all eternity. Or I guess we can't call it hell when we understand real cosmology, but the lake of fire, and these people will be tormented forever and ever, and God does that to them. They deserve it. Whoever God judges to be deeming of that, they deserve it. I imagine God's much more forgiving than we think. There'll be a lot more bad guys. You'll look over and there's like Stalin in heaven, and you'll be like, how did he get in here? What? That guy who disappeared, everyone. And he's not really he's no Apostle Paul. He didn't in the last minute turn his life around and repent. As far as I know, he was an angry, satanic, Talmudic communist till the day he died. As far as I know. But I always say that. God doesn't make mistakes. So everything that happens for a reason. You have the good, the bad, and everything in between. And we just got to trust God in that. That's why I say it's like the real, it means no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. Believe in Jesus. Okay? Definitely. If turn the cheek was always appropriate, Jesus wouldn't have flipped tables. Good point, Wendy. Yeah, see, here's what I see in chat, and you guys are all excellent. It's a combination of, well, we really shouldn't tolerate them. We should fight evil, but also be merciful and forgiveness. And that is the key. That is the narrow way, right? If all you were was killing everyone who disagreed with you, then you end up like, what's his nuts? You know what I mean? You end up like these guys. You end up like a horrible, evil communist who kills everybody because you've decided, well, if you don't agree with me, you're gone. It's like, that's not it. But if you look at the world today, man, you see, I know that it's not always in everyone's purview, but there is a lot of dark, horrible things happening to totally innocent people all over the world. And that is our collective fault. Evil does what evil does. Why are good people not doing what good people are supposed to do? When we see our troops go overseas and fight terror, everybody said they were fine. The boys come back, they killed 10 terrorists. Nobody judged them or blamed them or condemned them as evil. They did what they had to do to protect their country, and that's always been the way we've seen it. So we have to find a way to get to the balance between we turn the other cheek, we offer forgiveness, we are benevolent, we are understanding, but then we also are smart enough to know that some forces cannot be bargained with. Some men just want to watch the world burn, so to speak. And to quote the Batman movie. And it's true. Sometimes you got jokers in your life, clowns, demon-possessed maniacs who do not deserve a seat at the table. It's not about me being intolerant. I will tolerate someone who wants to argue with me about what kind of sandwich we're going to eat. But as soon as they argue that we should all die, I don't want them on the debate stage. We don't have to lower ourselves to that. So that's what it's about, right? The narrow way, balancing about how do we address the troubles of today, but also... how do we balance and be loving and all that? And it really comes down to the example, right? Like, if you create a culture that is better, people will want it. It goes back to that old saying, if we build it, they will come. That's what the kingdom is all about. When they look over at your house and your house is better, your friends are better, your neighbors are better, your faith is better, your life is better, they will want what you have. And we have relied so long as a Christian faith-based world on the idea that what better is internal alone. Like that if we have a happy heart and our spirit is changed, that's enough to change the world. But they don't care about your heart. They don't care about your spirit. They're sick. They're under a spell. And the spell needs to be broken for their sake. Not just because we're sick of crazy purple-haired people shrieking on the internet and pissing me off, because they need help, and they're not going to get help from Stalin. These people it is not going to get better by us just sitting here and letting this kind of crap continue until it happens again in the modern age. We do not deserve to live through a dark chapter like this again after every time in history that we've seen it. There's enough proof today that we know the world that we're in now. Anyway, it's all based on the idea that we are establishing that new example for people. And it's not like we're going to have all the answers right away. And I even think about it like it's kind of like a work in progress. Like CDM exists as an idea, as a notion, as a small Discord group, but we've only just begun to lay the foundations of that so that we can really communicate to the world what it means to be empowered through Christ. That's what the dominion of Christendom is. It's not just about owning everything and telling people what to do. It's about taking charge of what we've been given responsibility for, which is everything. It's like being the dad of the family, the breadwinner, even if you're not the dad. You know what I mean? It's about being head of household. And whose house is this? This earth belongs to Jesus. It is his. The fullness therein, all authority has been given unto him. And it isn't about an issue of whether or not he has the power to force the world into compliance. He wants people to come willingly. So we have to do something to teach people that there's a better way to live than broke. And I don't mean because we all conjure up money with charisma and tricking people into donating to the church. That's not it. We have to build a better system. The prosperity of the 1950s in America was crazy, and all it was economically different. If you had righteous people saying the economic situations must resemble those that benefit workers and normal people, families, marriages. We need support for healthy traditional Christian life. And we need resistance against non-acceptable ways of life. And I know that sounds bad, but it's an oppression now. I always say this. We're under the thumb of an oppressive force today. It's one of the main justifications that people use to say that we're living in the little season outside of the scripture. They say the world is widely deceived. It is a very dark time. People are really wretched. It must be the little season. Okay, it is very dark. It is really treacherous. That's one of the things people can acknowledge. And so I think if we can acknowledge how bad it is, we can acknowledge that it could be better and it should be better. Just like when we see stories like where Christ encounters paralyzed people and wounded people, he heals them because they should be upright. Even if they're surviving or otherwise. We don't accept frailty and rust and disease. That's not victory. We're not here in the world to be subjected by the world. We're here in the world to subject the world to God's order and his kingdom. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here to say that. All my life I wanted there to be Christians who thought we should do something. And I don't mean build a crusader army. I mean, for some people might find that necessary. There's probably circumstances where you have to do that, but I'm just talking about getting people empowered. Understand that we all have a responsibility. We're not just here to be taught everything. We're here to learn together and to advance together and to teach one another. The boldness that brought all of you here, the boldness that has broken you away from the society at large and from your family and friends in many cases, that boldness is true righteous passion. But our delivery has been incorrect. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself. Our delivery has been this plea. Please listen to me. Please consider that I have the truth. I care about you. I love you. Will you just please listen? I know that the world could be made better, that your life could be made better, that you could be safer, you could be less poisoned if you just listen to me and they reject you and they reject you. And the Bible says to stop wasting your time on that. Don't cast your pearls before the swine. What a disaster to think that our own family and friends are those people who refuse the truth. But it doesn't mean they're lost forever. The Lord can do anything with someone's heart. Let's focus on the mission and see what the Lord can deliver to us. And that just might be the thing. That might be the testimony that people are looking to see. In that year, 2026, those Christians got together and they said, enough is enough. And at first, all the atheists and the far leftists and even a lot of the institutional Christians were mad because all of a sudden everyone was getting told to get off their butt and do something. And all those bad guys who'd been enjoying a free ride all of a sudden get their just rewards and everybody's like, and they're all mad about it. But you know what? Y'all don't do a damn thing now while the world's upside down. You won't do a damn thing later when the world's right side up. You will just do what you're told, and soon you'll be told to do better things. How does that sound? Lower grocery prices, cheaper gas, better housing, better friendship, better community, better life, and all you have to do is kneel. Pretty low price, if you ask me. It reminds me of that scene from 300 where Xerxes has Leonidas and he says, everything could be yours. All that you must do is kneel. I don't know if I got the accent right, but it's kind of like that. All that I am asking that you do is that you kneel. I love you guys. I don't know what else I have to say. I can't even believe I made it to 2 hours. Technical difficulties, nothing in particular to say. I just always fall back on CDM. Well, I'm not sure what to say. Well, the world would be better if it was run by Christians. I'm about tired of all these heathens ruining everything around here. That's so funny. But it's true. The world would be a better place if it was run by Christians. I think we can all agree. And look, I'm all about getting rid of shitty Christians later. Your doctrine sucks. Okay, we'll parse that out at the round table. Let's first secure the future of humanity and civilization. Right? All right, guys, y'all are wonderful. Happy Thanksgiving 2025. We have just a few days left before a month and a few days. Before 2026, man, time is flying. It's crazy, but it's great to have been here with you guys for 70 levels so far of the Main Character Podcast, made possible by the Cult of Khan and powered by the Christian Dominion movement, because the truth should not just be declared, it should be imposed. And I'm ready to rock that thing out in the near future, so let's go! You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you all next week, or Sunday, I guess, for Sunday service, and we'll be back next week for level 71. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Teaching the lessons, impressions to keep you guessing what I do next, man.
Now when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison. He will go forth to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together for the final battle, an army whose number is as the sand of the sea.
This tech stuff's been so weird tonight. What's going on?
It's amazing the affirmations that come my way when I fake it until I make it. The truth is waiting, complacent organizations. They say I'm racist, they hate and they making payments on my vacation. I'm the man, I'm the king, I'm rejecting what you think. Rearranging your mentality, got some Kool-Aid you can drink. It's a scam, it's a plan, it's a con, and I'm your man. You know I tell it like it is, I hold the secrets in my hands. Reflection and introspection is my profession. I'm recklessly disrespecting what you expected, investing in my discretion, teaching the lessons, impressions to keep you guessing what I do next, man. I'm the man, I'm the king, I'm rejecting what you think. Rearranging your mentality, got some Kool-Aid you can drink. It's a scam, it's a plan, it's a con, and I'm your man. You know I tell it like it is, I hold the secrets in my hands.
They went forth to the center of the earth, surrounding the camp of the saints and his beloved city. And the fire of God came down from heaven and devoured them. The devil who had deceived them was cast to the lake of fire, where the beast and false prophet remain, and they shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
Ain't a country club Christian, I'm a zealot. Truth's gonna hurt, man, I ain't trying to sell it. And if you think you can refute it, you'll regret it. Cause that's the way it is, like it is how I tell it. Ain't a country club Christian, I'm a zealot.